Be better than you were with me. But she's a Reed. That's final. Grant looked like he wanted to argue, but didn't. Maybe the exhaustion in Natalie's voice stopped him. Maybe the steel in her eyes. Maybe finally understanding this wasn't negotiable. Can I hold her? He asked. Natalie hesitated, then nodded. Carefully transferred Maya. Grant held her awkwardly. New parent awkward. He stared at her face. She looks like my mother. She looks like herself. When can I see her again? After the court hearing, after custody is established, after we have legal framework. For now, you've seen her. You know she's healthy. That's enough. Natalie, I know I hurt you. I know what I did was wrong. But she deserves both parents. She deserves parents who respect each other, who communicate honestly, who put her needs first. Can you do that? I can try. Then try, starting now, by leaving, by giving me time to recover, by following the rules. Grant handed Maya back. Left. Opened the door. The private dining room was nearly empty. Birthday cake sat untouched on the side table. Champagne bottles empty. White roses scattered across the floor. Her mother's purse sat on a chair. But no mother. The room looked like a crime scene. In a way it was. One person remained, sitting at the abandoned table. Grant's mother, Eleanor Whitmore, 64 years old, pearls in judgment and old money breeding. She looked up when Natalie entered. I raised him better than this, Eleanor said. Natalie wanted to laugh, to scream, to do anything but stand there dripping humiliation onto expensive marble floors. Did you? Sit, child, before you fall. Child. Natalie was 32, 6 months pregnant, a marketing executive with her own corner office. But right now she felt like a child, lost, confused, betrayed. She sat. The chair was cold. Everything was cold. I suspected something, Eleanor continued. Her voice was crisp, efficient. Patricia slipped into the room after he'd gone. How are you feeling? Like I got hit by a truck, a wonderful truck, made of love and terror. That's motherhood in a sentence, Patricia looked at Maya. Her first grandchild. Tears formed. She's perfect. She is, isn't she? The next 3 days passed in a blur. Hospital routine, feeding, changing, learning, nurse visits, doctor checks. Everything was overwhelming and instinctive simultaneously. Natalie had read books, taken classes, prepared, but nothing prepared you for the reality. Eleanor visited on day 2, brought gifts, expensive baby clothes, cashmere blankets, silver rattle, completely impractical and completely Eleanor. She has my eyes, Eleanor announced. She has Grant's eyes. Same thing, Whitmore eyes. We all have them. Piercing, intelligent, judgmental from birth. Natalie laughed. Maya stirred. Eleanor asked to hold her. Natalie hesitated. Eleanor's expression softened. I know I'm complicit in how Grant turned out. I could have intervened sooner, done more, been better. But I'm here now, for Maya, for you. Let me try. Natalie handed her over. Eleanor held Maya naturally. Experienced. She'd done this before. With Grant, probably hundreds of grandchildren events. She knew babies. Hello, Maya Patricia, Eleanor crooned. Soft, gentle. I'm your difficult grandmother. I'll spoil you and tell you uncomfortable truths. I'll teach you that pearls go with everything and feminism includes fighting back. I'll show you how to be strong and soft simultaneously. And I'll never let you settle for men like your father. Because you deserve better. We all deserve better. Tears burned Natalie's eyes. Postpartum hormones, gratitude, relief. She wasn't alone in this, hadn't been alone for weeks. But seeing Eleanor hold Maya made it real. She had family, support, love. Simone visited on day 3, brought flowers and advice. The first month is survival mode. Don't try to do everything. Just feed the baby. Sleep when possible. Shower occasionally. That's success. What about work? Work happens in pieces. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes in there, while baby sleeps, while someone else holds her. You'll figure it out. I did. You will too. You had to do it alone. So do you. Grant's not a partner. He's a complication. Useful for money and court-ordered custody time. but not a partner. The sooner you accept that, the better. Home was Patricia's house. Natalie's childhood bedroom converted to nursery, crib, changing table, rocking chair, all provided by Eleanor. Practical help disguised as gifts. The routine established slowly. Feed every 3 hours, change every 2 hours, sleep never. Natalie was exhausted, overwhelmed, deliriously happy, everything hurt, everything was perfect. Claire helped, Patricia helped, Eleanor visited daily, brought meals, held Maya while Natalie showered, slept, existed. The final custody hearing arrived 6 weeks after Maya's birth. Natalie was still bleeding, still exhausted, still recovering, but she dressed professionally. Brought Maya. Let the judge see what Grant was fighting for. Not an abstract concept, a real baby. The hearing took 3 hours. Witnesses testified. Owen described Grant's planning. Eleanor described Grant's character. The psychologists described their evaluations. Grant scored high on narcissistic traits, low on empathy, moderate risk for controlling behavior. Natalie scored normal, adjusted for postpartum stress. Based on evidence presented, Judge Martinez finally said, I'm awarding primary physical custody to Miss Reed. Mr. Whitmore will have supervised visitation every other weekend until Maya turns 6 months old. At that point, we'll reevaluate for unsupervised visitation. Mr. Whitmore will pay child support in the amount of $8,000 monthly. He will provide health insurance. He will establish a college fund with minimum $50,000 initial contribution. These orders are binding. Violation will result in contempt charges. Any questions? Grant's lawyers tried to argue. Judge Martinez shut them down. Your client humiliated Miss Reed publicly, attempted to manipulate her financially, documented plans to declare her unfit, made statements treating the child as property rather than person. He's lucky I'm allowing any custody. This hearing is concluded. Outside the courthouse, Marcus smiled. That's as close to complete victory as family court gets. He'll appeal, Natalie said. Let him. Appellate courts rarely overturn custody decisions without new evidence. He has none. You won. Victory felt strange, hollow. Not because it wasn't real, because the fight had changed her. She wasn't the same person who walked into that birthday dinner. That woman had been soft, trusting, naive. This woman was a mother, a business owner, a survivor, transformed by betrayal into something stronger. 3 months later, Reed Marketing Consulting had 6 clients. Natalie worked from home. 15-minute bursts between feedings, 20-minute sprints during naps. It was chaos, but functional chaos. Profitable case. Grant paid support, showed up for custody time, supervised by a court-appointed monitor. He tried, she'd give him that, but trying wasn't parenting. Trying was obligation. Maya deserved more. Brooke was gone. Left Grant 2 months after Maya's birth. Apparently wealthy narcissists weren't as appealing when you lived with them. She moved to Austin, started over. New city, new target, probably. Grant never mentioned her. Natalie didn't ask. June arrived warm. Maya was 5 months old, rolling over, laughing, grabbing everything. Perfect, exhausting, worth everything. Natalie stood in Patricia's backyard, Maya on a blanket, Patricia supervising, Claire taking photos. Eleanor had brought lunch. They sat together, eating, talking, being family. You did it, Eleanor said. Did what? Survived, thrived, built something from nothing. You're stronger than I was, braver, better. I had help, you, Patricia, Claire, Marcus, Simone. I didn't do it alone. No one does anything alone, but accepting help is its own kind of strength. I didn't learn that until too late. You learned it early. Maya squealed. Patricia picked her up, brought her to Natalie, 5 months old. Grant's eyes, Natalie's determination. A combination that would change the world someday. You know what the hardest part was? Natalie said. Realizing I didn't need rescuing. That I was never the damsel. That I had power all along. I just didn't recognize it until I was forced to use it. And now, Eleanor asked, now I know, now I remember, now I choose carefully who I trust, who I let close, who deserves access to my life, and I choose me. Every time. Me and Maya. That's the team that matters. What about your future? Beyond motherhood and business? What about you? Natalie thought about it. Romance felt distant, impossible. She'd loved Grant, believed in their future. That betrayal would take time to heal. Maybe years, maybe never. But that was okay. She didn't need romantic love to be whole. I want to grow the business, hire employees eventually, build something sustainable. I want Maya to see women working, building, creating. I want her to know independence is possible, that she doesn't need a man to rescue her, that she can rescue herself. You're already teaching her that, Patricia said, every day, by example. The afternoon passed into evening. Maya fell asleep on Natalie's chest. Warm, safe, loved. Natalie closed her eyes, breathed. This moment, this peace, this hard-won happiness. Her phone buzzed. Email, new client inquiry. She'd answer later. Right now was for this, for family, for the life she'd built from ashes. Grant had tried to erase her, replace her, delete her from his story. Instead, he'd freed her, given her reason to fight, to grow, to become someone stronger than she'd imagined possible. She wasn't grateful for the betrayal, would never thank him for the pain, but she was grateful for who she'd become, for the clarity, for the strength, for the understanding that she'd always been enough. She just needed the right circumstances to realize it. Maya stirred, made small sounds. Natalie adjusted her position, rocked gently, hummed. The melody was familiar, her mother's lullaby, passed down, generation to generation, now being passed to Maya. What are you thinking about? Claire asked. Everything, nothing. How much has changed, how much I've changed. You're still you, just the version of you that was always there, waiting for the right moment to emerge. I like this version better. We all do. The sun set over Patricia's suburban backyard. California sunset, orange and pink and purple. Beautiful. Normal. The kind of evening Natalie used to take for granted. Not anymore. Everything felt precious now. Earned. Her daughter slept. Her family laughed. Her business grew. Her life was nothing like she'd planned, but it was hers. Completely. Authentically. Undeniably hers. And that was enough. More than enough. That was everything. Maya's first birthday party was small. Family only. No grand production. No social media announcement. Just people who mattered. People who'd shown up. People who'd earned their place in their lives. Patricia's backyard again. Decorations. Cake. Presents. Maya sat in her high chair. Frosting on her face, laughing. Perfect. Grant came. Brought an expensive gift, stayed appropriately, left without drama. His supervised visitation had ended at 6 months. He now had her every other weekend, overnight. He was trying, not perfect, but present. That counted. Eleanor brought a savings bond. For college, or rebellion, whichever comes first. The voice of someone used to dealing with unpleasant matters. 3 months ago, the way he looked at her, the way my late husband looked at his secretary. The words landed like punches. 3 months, while Natalie was nesting, painting the nursery, picking out baby names. Her fiancé was looking at her best friend the way his father looked at the woman who destroyed his mother's marriage. Why didn't you tell me? Natalie asked. Would you have believed me? No, probably not. Natalie had been too happy, too secure, too stupid. Eleanor pulled out her phone, tapped the screen, slid it across the table. This arrived in a group text earlier today, before dinner. Natalie looked, read, felt her heart stop. Grant to Brooke, tonight, just like we planned. She'll understand eventually. Brooke, are you sure the timing is right? Grant, timing is perfect. She's too pregnant to make a scene. The phone screen blurred, but tears or rage or both. Natalie pushed the phone back. Claire brought photos, a year documented. For Maya, when she's older, when she asked about how brave her mother was. Simone brought advice. Year 1 is survival. Year 2 is thriving. Year 3 is finally slow. Sleeping through the night. You're doing great. Reed Marketing Consulting now had 15 clients, 3 employees, an actual office space, small, modest, but real. Natalie worked 30 hours weekly, made enough to support herself and Maya. Independence felt like oxygen, necessary, life-giving. She hadn't dated, hadn't tried, wasn't ready, maybe never would be, but that was okay. Her life was full without romance. Maya, business, family, friends, purpose. That was enough. Make a wish, Patricia said. Candle lit on Maya's cake. Natalie looked at her daughter, 1 year old, healthy, happy, loved. What was left to wish for? I wish for her to always know her worth, Natalie said, to never settle, to never accept less than she deserves, to fight back when treated badly, to build her own life on her own terms, to be strong and soft and complicated and whole. That's a lot of wishes, Claire said. She deserves a lot. They sang, Maya clapped, the candle went out, another year beginning, new challenges ahead, new growth required, new lessons to learn. But Natalie wasn't afraid anymore. Fear had been burned away in the crucible of betrayal. What remained was steel, tempered, strong, unbreakable. She'd survived the proposal, the confrontation, the court battle, the first year of motherhood. She'd built a business, created independence, learned her worth, and most importantly, she'd learned that the prison door had been unlocked all along. She'd been her own warden, her own jailer, believing she needed Grant, needed validation, needed permission to be whole. She didn't need any of those things, never had. She just needed to realize it, to claim it, to live it. Maya reached for her, sticky hands, big smile. Natalie picked her up, held her close. This was home. This was family. This was everything that mattered. Thank you, Natalie whispered. To Maya, to the universe, to herself. Thank you for the breaking. It's how the light got in. And that's how Natalie Reed transformed from a betrayed, pregnant woman into a thriving business owner and fierce mother. One humiliating proposal became the beginning of her greatest chapter. If this story resonated with you, if you felt Natalie's pain, her rage, her triumph, show some love by hitting that like button. Drop a comment telling me which moment hit you hardest. Was it the birthday betrayal, Eleanor's loyalty, the courtroom victory, Maya's arrival? Share this story with someone who needs to hear that survival is possible. That transformation is real. That betrayal can be the catalyst for becoming your strongest self. And subscribe to this channel for more stories about women who refuse to stay broken. Because strength isn't about never falling. It's about how you rise from a... See you in the next story. The champagne cork popped. 30 guests applauded. Natalie Reed smiled, 6 months pregnant, waiting for the proposal she'd been dreaming about for months. Then her millionaire fiancé got down on one knee, pulled out an emerald ring, and turned away from her. Toward her best friend. What happened next wasn't tears, wasn't begging, wasn't the breakdown he expected from a pregnant woman he thought was too vulnerable to fight back. What happened next was war. This is the story of how one humiliating moment became the catalyst for the most satisfying transformation you'll hear all year. It involves hidden bank accounts, a mother-in-law's revenge, a business partner's guilty conscience, and a courtroom showdown that left a narcissistic millionaire scrambling. Buckle up. This 90-minute story is about to show you exactly what happens when you underestimate a woman who has nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. The champagne cork popped. How did you get this? Grant forwarded it to me by accident, meant to send his weekly calendar. His thumb slipped. Fortunate for you, unfortunate for him. I need to leave, Natalie said. Your car is still here. Your mother took a ride with your sister. Wanted to find Brooke. Handle things. I convinced her to let me drive you instead. Why are you helping me? Eleanor's smile was thin, sharp. Because my son is a fool. Because you're carrying my grandchild. Because I spent 30 years married to a man who treated me like a placeholder until someone better came along. I will not watch another woman endure that without fighting back. The tears came then, hot, angry. Natalie pressed her palms against her eyes, ruined her makeup, didn't care. I don't understand. We were happy. We were trying for this baby. We were planning a wedding. You were planning a wedding, Eleanor corrected. He was planning an exit. Eleanor's car smelled like leather and expensive perfume. The seats were heated. Natalie's apartment was 20 minutes away. She gave Eleanor the address. They drove in silence. The city passed by outside. Friday night, people laughing on sidewalks, couples holding hands. Normal lives continuing while Natalie's shattered into smaller and smaller pieces. Thank you, Natalie finally said, for staying, for driving me. Don't thank me yet, Eleanor replied. We have work to do. Work? You think this ends at a humiliating proposal? No, dear. This is just the beginning. Grant is many things. Generous is not one of them. He will fight you for everything. The baby, support, assets. He will make you regret existing. The words should have scared her. Instead, they focused her, sharpened something dull inside her chest. What do I do? You fight back, but first, you gather evidence. They pulled up to Natalie's building, 15 floors, modern, expensive. Grant had insisted on this place, convenient to his office. Good schools nearby, room to grow. She'd loved it. Past tense. Everything was past tense now. The elevator ride took forever. Eleanor stood beside her, pearls gleaming under fluorescent lights. Natalie felt like a child next to her, a child playing dress-up in a woman's life. The apartment door opened to Grant's things, his jacket on the hook, his shoes by the entrance, his cologne lingering in the air. Natalie's stomach turned. Morning sickness at night. Ironic. Pack essentials, Eleanor directed. Clothes, documents, anything you can't replace. I can't just leave. This is my home. Is it? Check the lease. Natalie pulled out her laptop, logged into the property management portal. The lease appeared on screen. One name, Grant Whitmore. Not Natalie Reed, just Grant. He told me, he added me, Natalie whispered. Men like my son tell many things. Truth is optional. Natalie moved through the apartment like a ghost. The nursery door stood open. Pale yellow walls, white crib, rocking chair in the corner. She'd assembled it herself. Grant had been too busy, always too busy. A cardigan hung over the rocking chair. Burgundy, cashmere, expensive, not hers. How long has that been there? Eleanor asked from the doorway. I don't know, I stopped seeing it. The words hurt more than the discovery. She'd stopped seeing things, stopped questioning, stopped trusting her instincts. When did that happen? When did she become the woman who ignored cardigans that didn't belong? They packed in silence. Suitcase, overnight bag, box of documents from the filing cabinet, Natalie's laptop, her grandmother's jewelry, photo albums from before Grant, before Brooke, before everything turned complicated. Where am I going? Natalie asked. Her phone buzzed. Patricia. Finally. Baby, where are you? Come to my house, right now. I have your room ready. Natalie almost laughed, almost cried, her childhood bedroom, where she'd slept until college. Grant showed up an hour after delivery. Natalie was exhausted, sweaty, euphoric. The baby lay on her chest, 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect, dark hair, Grant's eyes, Natalie's nose. A combination that somehow made sense. Can I come in? Grant asked from the doorway. Natalie wanted to say no, wanted him gone, but that wasn't realistic. He was the father, part of their lives forever. Better to establish boundaries now. 10 minutes, don't wake her. Grant approached, looked at the baby. His expression shifted, something softer, vulnerable. Maybe regret, maybe love. Hard to tell. She's beautiful, he said. Her name is Maya, Maya Patricia Reed, not Maya Whitmore. Reed, my name. We should discuss. Nothing to discuss. Her birth certificate lists only my name. You can establish paternity through court, like the judge ordered, but her last name is Reed. I'm her father. Then be a father, pay support, show up for custody time, Be reliable. Be present. The porch light was on. Patricia stood in the doorway, 58 years old, Southern to her bones, fury written across every feature. She pulled Natalie into a hug the moment she stepped from the car. I'm going to kill him, Patricia said. Matter of fact, like discussing the weather. Get in line, Eleanor replied. Patricia looked at Grant's mother, really looked. You helped her? My son is an embarrassment. I intend to fix that. Coffee, Patricia offered. Please. They sat at the kitchen table, the same table from Natalie's childhood. Scarred wood, wobbly leg, coffee in mismatched mugs. Nothing matched anymore. Why should the mugs? I need to understand, Natalie said. The timeline, how long, when it started, all of it. Are you sure? Patricia asked. Sometimes knowing hurts worse. I'm already hurt. I need to know why. Eleanor pulled out her phone again, pulled up messages, social media, screenshots. She'd been preparing, gathering evidence while Natalie fell apart in the bathroom. Brooke's Instagram, Eleanor said. Turned the phone. 3 months ago, tagged at Russo's, that Italian place near Grant's office. Natalie looked, Brooke smiling, wine glass raised, background blurry but recognizable. The same restaurant where Grant claimed to have a work dinner. The same night Natalie ate leftovers alone. 4 months ago, her real estate license application. Lists Grant as a professional reference. Strange for someone supposedly focused on residential properties. 5 months ago, joint gym membership, his name and hers. You never mentioned joining a gym, did you? Natalie shook her head. Words wouldn't come. 6 months ago, conception date based on your due date. Eleanor's voice softened. Barely. You thought you were trying together. We were trying, Natalie whispered. No, dear, you were trying. He was hedging bets, impregnating you while testing waters with your best friend. Standard procedure for men who want options. The cruelty of it, the calculated coldness. Grant hadn't been swept away by passion. He'd been planning, preparing, making sure he had a backup before leaving the relationship. I need air, Natalie said, stood, stumbled. 6 months pregnant meant standing quickly was a mistake. Patricia caught her arm. Guest room, end of the hall, your old room. I kept it ready, just in case. Just in case. Just in case her daughter's life fell apart. Just in case the perfect man wasn't perfect. Just in case everything was a lie. Natalie walked down the hall. Each step hurt. Not physically, something deeper, something that wouldn't heal with rest. The guest room door was open. Her childhood furniture, her high school trophies, her college acceptance letters framed on the wall. Evidence of the girl she'd been, before compromise, before settling, before Grant. She sat on the bed, the mattress dipped, old springs, familiar. The baby kicked, protesting the movement, the stress, the cortisol flooding Natalie's system. Sorry, sweetheart, Natalie whispered, both hands on her belly. Mama's having a bad day. Actually, Mama's having the worst day. But we're okay. We're going to be okay. The lie tasted bitter. Her phone sat on the nightstand. 29 messages. She didn't want to check. Didn't want to see Grant's excuses. Brooke's apologies. The pity from witnesses. But avoiding things had gotten her here. Time to face reality. Grant, we need to talk. Grant, you're overreacting. Grant, answer your phone. Grant, this is childish. Grant, fine, be that way. Brooke, I'm so sorry, please let me explain. Brooke, it just happened. Brooke, I never meant to hurt you. Claire, sister, call me. Now, I have information. Natalie called Claire. Finally, as Claire answered, 28 years old, social media manager, tech savvy, furious. Are you okay? No. Stupid question. Sorry, listen, I've been digging. You need to see this. See what? Property records, real estate transactions. Grant's been busy. Eleanor showed me. The group text, the timeline. This is bigger. He bought a house. The room tilted. Natalie pressed her free hand against the bed. Grounding. What? $8 million. Atherton, 8 bedrooms, pool, guest house. Closing in 3 weeks. Names on the deed? Claire paused. Grant Whitmore and Brooke Castellano. The baby kicked, hard, protesting. Natalie couldn't blame her. She wanted to kick something too. He's replacing me, Natalie said. The words came out flat, emotionless. Shock did that. Removed feeling until later. Until safe. Not replacing, erasing, like you never existed. Like he can just swap you out. 3 weeks. The closing is in 3 weeks. 1 week before your due date. The calculation, the planning. Grant had orchestrated everything. Kept Natalie pregnant, independent, while building a new life. Same structure, same dream. Laughter echoed through the private dining room. Then silence fell like a guillotine blade. Natalie Reed pressed one hand against her belly. 6 months pregnant. The emerald dress pulled tight across her stomach. Grant had picked the color, his favorite. She smoothed the fabric and smiled at the faces around her. 30 people, friends, family, colleagues, all here for her 32nd birthday. Grant stood beside her chair. His hand trembled as it reached into his jacket pocket. Finally, 6 months pregnant, and he was finally proposing. Natalie's heart hammered against her ribs. Her mother, Patricia, caught her eye from across the table. Smiled that knowing smile, the one that said everything was falling into place. Everyone, Grant said. His voice carried through the room. I have something important to say. Natalie's fingers found her water glass. The baby kicked. Hard. Like punctuation. She wanted to laugh, to cry, to freeze this moment before it became a memory. Different woman. She'd been a placeholder, a trial run, the practice wife before the real thing. Claire, Natalie said slowly, I need you to do something. Anything. Find me a lawyer, the best divorce lawyer in the city. Someone who destroys men like Grant. Someone ruthless. You're not married. Then family law, paternity, or child support. Someone who knows how to fight. I know someone, Marcus Jennings. Mom's friend dated him. He's expensive. I don't care. Set up a meeting Monday. First thing. Done. What else? Everything you can find, property records, financial statements, social media history. If it exists digitally, I want it. This is going to get messy, Claire warned. It's already messy. I'm just catching up. Natalie ended the call, looked around her childhood bedroom. She'd left this room at 18, full of dreams, ambitions, plans for a life bigger than the suburbs, bigger than small-town thinking. Now she was back, 32, pregnant. Betrayed but not broken, she stood, walked to the window. The street outside was quiet, suburban, safe. Not the life she'd chosen, but maybe the life she needed. For now, while she regrouped, while she planned. Grant thought she was too pregnant to fight back, too emotional, too dependent. He'd underestimated her. They'd all underestimated her. That was his first mistake. Monday morning arrived cold. November in California. Not snow cold, not winter cold. Just that edge of chill that meant summer was truly over. Natalie dressed carefully. Maternity pantsuit, navy blue, professional. The kind of outfit that said she was serious, competent, not the crying mess from Friday night. Marcus Jennings' office occupied the 23rd floor of a downtown high-rise. Glass and steel, money and power. Eleanor had confirmed the choice. Sent a text Sunday night. Simple. Direct. Marcus handled my divorce. He's ruthless. Good. The reception area smelled like expensive coffee and success. Leather chairs. Marble floors. Art on the walls that probably cost more than Natalie's first car. She gave her name to the receptionist, sat, waited, tried to look calm while her heart hammered. Miss Reed, a man emerged from the hall, 45, sharp suit, sharper eyes. Marcus Jennings, please come in. His office was all windows, city sprawling below. His desk was clean, organized. One file sat in the center. Thick, prepared. He'd been working. Your sister provided preliminary information, Marcus began. Gestured to the file. Property records, social media analysis, Timeline reconstruction. Impressive work. She's thorough, Natalie said. So am I, which is why I need to ask difficult questions. Are you prepared for honest answers? Yes. Why are you here? Revenge or justice? The question hit different than expected. Natalie paused, thought. I want the truth, and I want to protect my daughter. From him, from this, from whatever he's planning. Marcus nodded, opened the file. Let's discuss what we know, then what we suspect, then what we can prove. He spread documents across the desk. Property deeds, bank statements, text messages. Claire had been busy, so had Eileen. Between them, they'd constructed a timeline that made Natalie's stomach turn. Grant Whitmore, Marcus began, 38 years old, founder and CEO of Whitmore Technologies. Company valuation approximately $80 million. Personal liquid assets estimated at $3 million. However, he pulled out a bank statement. Your joint account contains $12,000, all deposits from your salary. He said keeping finances separate until marriage was smart, for tax purposes. It's smart for him, protects his assets, keeps you dependent. Classic control tactic. Marcus pulled out another document. Life insurance policy. Dated 4 months ago. Grant insured your life for $5 million. Beneficiary listed as Grant Christopher Whitmore. The room felt smaller, colder. Why would he insure me? Pregnancy complications. Childbirth risks. Women still die giving birth, especially without proper medical care. If something happened to you, Marcus let the sentence hang. He'd get $5 million in sole custody of our daughter. Natalie finished the thought. Tasted bile. Correct. Now this gets interesting. Marcus pulled out more papers. Prenuptial agreement. Drafted 3 months ago by his attorney. Never shown to you. Never signed. But ready. Waiting. Natalie took the document. Read. The words blurred together. Legalese hiding cruelty. She'd get nothing. No assets, no support beyond minimum child support. No claim to anything built during their relationship. Grant would keep everything. She'd leave with what she brought, which was nothing. She'd moved in with him. Put her belongings in storage. Storage that was... He closed my storage unit, Natalie said suddenly, 6 weeks ago. Said he was consolidating. Moving my things to the apartment. Made sense? Saved money. Did you see your belongings arrive at the apartment? No, he said he'd handle it. I was working. The pregnancy was exhausting. I trusted him. Where are your belongings now? I don't know. Marcus made a note. We'll find out. Continue. The property in Atherton, $8 million. Closing date 3 weeks from now. 1 week before your due date. Names on the deed are Grant Whitmore and Brooke Castellano, not Grant and Natalie. Interesting timing. He planned this? All of it. The pregnancy, the proposal to Brooke, everything. The evidence suggests that. But here's what I don't understand. Marcus leaned back, fingers steepled, thinking. Why propose to Brooke publicly? Why humiliate you at your birthday dinner? If his goal was a clean exit, why create drama? The question rattled something loose in Natalie's memory. Grant's voice during their last fight. You're too emotional, too paranoid. The pregnancy hormones are making you crazy. He wanted witnesses, Natalie said slowly. He wanted people to see me as unstable, emotional, irrational. He wanted to build a case that I'm an unfit mother. Then he'd get custody, control everything, erase me completely. Marcus smiled, not happy, satisfied. Good, you're thinking like a lawyer. Now think like a fighter. What leverage do you have? I don't have anything. He has the money, the property, the business. I have... She touched her belly. I have our daughter. You have more than that. You have witnesses to his cruelty. You have Eleanor, Grant's own mother, as your ally. You have property records showing he bought a house with his mistress while you were pregnant. You have a life insurance policy that looks suspicious as hell. And most importantly, you have California law. What does California law give me? Community property. You weren't married, but you lived together, built a life together. In California, that matters. Palimony. The property he acquired during your relationship, you're entitled to a percentage. The business growth during your time together, you have a claim. Child support based on his income, not his generosity, mandated by law. Hope felt dangerous. Natalie didn't trust it. What do I need to do? First, establish residency. You're at your mother's house? Yes. Good. Stay there. Document everything. Save every text, every email, every interaction. Second, medical care. Your prenatal appointments are with Dr. Chen at University Hospital. Continue those. Keep every receipt, every appointment record. We'll need proof of his absence. Third, and most important, do not engage with Grant directly. All communication goes through me. He's going to call. Let him. Don't answer. He'll leave messages. Perfect. He'll text, screenshot everything. He'll try to manipulate you, gaslight you, make you doubt yourself. Men like Grant are predictable. He thinks he's smarter than everyone. That arrogance is our weapon. Natalie stood, shook Marcus's hand. His grip was firm, confident. For the first time since Friday night, she felt like maybe, possibly, she could survive this. One more thing, Marcus said as she reached the door. This is going to get worse before it gets better. Grant will fight dirty. He'll drag your name through the mud. He'll turn people against you. He'll make you question everything. Can you handle that? I don't have a choice. Wrong. You always have a choice. You can settle. Take his initial offer, disappear, raise your daughter in peace, or you can fight, burn everything down, get what you deserve. But fighting costs. Emotionally, financially, personally, are you willing to pay that price? Natalie thought about Friday night, the champagne cork, the emerald ring box, Grant's face turning away from her, toward Brooke. The 6 months of her life spent believing she was building a family. The lie of it all. I'll pay whatever it pa, she said. Marcus smiled. Good. We start tomorrow. Claire arrived at Patricia's house Tuesday evening with a laptop and determination. 28 years old, social media manager, digital forensics specialist. Currently very, very angry on her sister's behalf. I found things, Claire announced, set up the laptop on the kitchen table. Bad things, worse than we thought. Patricia brought coffee. Natalie sat. 6 months pregnant meant sitting was becoming the default. Everything hurt. Back, feet, heart, especially heart. Show me, Natalie said. Claire pulled up spreadsheets, screenshots, documents. I started with Brooke's social media. Public posts showed nothing interesting, but then I checked her tagged photos. Posts she didn't make. Posts other people made. The screen filled with images, parties, events, gatherings. Brooke smiling, Brooke laughing, Brooke with Grant in the background, not together. The room held its breath. Grant dropped to one knee. The floor was marble, cold, expensive. La Maison Blanche didn't do anything halfway. Neither did Grant Whitmore. 38 years old, millionaire, tech entrepreneur. Everything looked perfect from the outside. Natalie's hand moved to her throat. She could feel her pulse there. Fast, frantic, happy. Then Grant turned, 90 degrees, away from Natalie, toward the woman sitting 3 chairs down, toward Brooke. Time fractured, slowed, stopped. Natalie watched Grant's mouth move, heard words that made no sense. Her best friend, Brooke Castellano, 29 years old, red dress, red like a warning sign Natalie never saw. Brooke, Grant said, from the moment I met you, I knew my life would never be the same. The emerald ring box opened, green velvet, Natalie's birthstone, her ring, her proposal, her moment, except it wasn't. Brooke's hand flew to her mouth. Grant, we can't. But her eyes said something else. Never obviously together, but always there. Same events, same locations, same timeline. 8 months ago, your company holiday party. Remember you brought Brooke as your +1? Natalie remembered. Grant had been networking. She'd been tired. First trimester exhaustion. Brooke had kept her company, been supportive, a good friend. Look at this photo. Background. By the bar. Natalie looked, squinted. Grant and Brooke. Heads close, intimate. Not networking, connecting. That's the night I went home early, Natalie said. Her voice sounded distant. I had morning sickness. Brooke insisted on staying, said she was having fun, would catch an Uber home. She caught something, Claire muttered, pulled up more photos. 7 months ago, that tech conference in San Francisco, Grant presented on panels. I couldn't go, too nauseous, couldn't travel. Brooke went, her Instagram check-in at the conference hotel. Same hotel as Grant, same weekend. The evidence mounted. Photo after photo, check-in after check-in, a pattern emerging from seemingly innocent coincidences. Except they weren't coincidences. They were a relationship, hidden in plain sight, under Natalie's nose, behind her back, while she grew their child. When did it start? Natalie asked. Best I can determine, your engagement party 18 months ago. There's a video, someone's cousin posted it. Background footage during toasts. Claire played the video. Natalie watched herself, 18 months younger, happy, glowing, celebrating Grant's proposal. She watched Grant make a toast, watched herself kiss him, watched everyone applaud. Then Claire paused, zoomed, enhanced. Background of the frame, garden area of the venue. Two figures, Grant and Brooke, close, too close. His hand on her face, her hand on his chest. A moment, brief, stolen. While Natalie smiled inside, oblivious. 18 months, Natalie said. Her throat was tight. Since before we got engaged. It gets worse, Claire warned. How could it possibly get worse? Claire pulled up financial records. Grant's LLC, G&B Holdings, formed 8 months ago, right after your company holiday party. Initial investment $400,000. Purpose listed as real estate development. The house in Atherton. Not just that house. 3 other properties. Rental income, investment portfolio. Grant's been building a financial empire, separate from Whitmore Technologies, completely separate from you. Assets you'd have no claim to because they're in the LLC, not in his name personally. The sophistication of it, the planning. Grant hadn't just been having an affair. He'd been constructing an exit strategy. Financial, emotional, legal, every angle covered. He was going to leave me with nothing, Natalie said. He was going to make sure you'd struggle, depend on minimal child support, be too broke and tired to fight. Standard playbook for wealthy men abandoning pregnant women. Natalie stood, walked to the window. Suburban street, quiet, normal. Nothing felt normal anymore. Her entire relationship had been theater, performance. She'd been the only one who didn't know she was acting. There's more, Claire said. Brooke's real estate license. She got it 6 months ago, applied right after you announced the pregnancy. Why would she need a real estate license? To legally participate in G&B Holdings. To be a partner, she needed professional credentials. She got them. Fast. Grant probably paid for the accelerated classes, the exam prep, everything. So she could help him buy properties, build his empire, replace me as business partner and life partner. Exactly. Patricia spoke from her position by the coffee maker. That girl was never your friend, not for one single day. The truth of it settled heavy. Brooke had been performing too. Best friend, confidant, bridesmaid at the wedding that never happened. All fake, all calculated. Access to Natalie's life, to Grant, to money, to a future that didn't include the woman stupid enough to trust her. I was so blind, Natalie said. No, Claire corrected. You were trusting. Normal people trust their friends, their partners. That's not blindness. That's being human. They're the ones who are broken, not you. Natalie's phone buzzed. She'd been ignoring it. Days of missed calls, voicemails, texts. But this number was different. Unknown. She answered. Natalie Reed? Male voice. Uncertain. Yes? This is Owen Fletcher. I work with Grant, business partner. We've met a few times. She remembered. 41, smart, quiet, the moral compass Grant lacked. What do you want? I need to talk to you in person. It's important, please. About what? About how long I've known and what I should have told you months ago. Owen Fletcher arrived at Patricia's house 20 minutes later. He looked terrible. Dark circles, wrinkled shirt, guilt written across every feature. Patricia let him in, offered coffee. He refused, sat at the kitchen table across from Natalie. Claire stood in the doorway, recording. Everything was evidence now. I should have told you, Owen began. No preamble. Months ago, when I first suspected, I should have said something. But you didn't, Natalie said. No, I didn't. I told myself it wasn't my business, that maybe I was wrong, that maybe they were just friends. He ran a hand through his hair. I knew better. Deep down, I knew. How long have you known? 6 months, since the night Grant told me about the pregnancy. We were at a bar, celebrating the news. He'd just left you. You'd done the test together, called him crying. Happy. He was supposed to be happy. But he wasn't. He called it the Natalie problem. Owen's voice cracked. Those exact words, the Natalie problem. Like you were an obstacle, a complication he needed to solve. The words hurt more than they should. Natalie had already known. Evidence pointed to this truth. But hearing it spoken, confirmed, made it real in a way documents couldn't. What else did he say? Claire asked from the doorway. That your career ambitions clashed with his image. That pregnancy wasn't as aesthetic as he'd imagined. That you asked too many questions about finances, about his hours, about where he went. He said you were becoming a liability. And Brooke was the solution, Natalie finished. He called her malleable, eager to please, willing to play the supportive wife role without the demands. Younger, more attractive, more manageable. Owen looked sick saying it. I told him he was an asshole, that you deserved better. He laughed, said love was for children. He was building something bigger than love. Patricia made a sound, disgust mixed with rage. That boy needs a good slap. He needs more than that, Claire muttered. Natalie forced herself to breathe, process. Owen was giving her gift-wrapped ammunition. Everything he said could be used, would be used. Marcus would build a case from this, but first she needed all of it. The LLC, Natalie said, G&B Holdings. You're listed as secretary, not partner. Secretary? Why? Grant needed someone with business sense. Brooke has a real estate license, but no actual business experience. She's a front. I handle the paperwork, the legal filings, the tax documents. So you're complicit. Owen flinched. Yes, completely. That's why I'm here. I can't do this anymore. I can't watch him destroy you. I can't watch him plan your erasure like it's a business transaction. What do you want from me, Natalie asked. Forgiveness? Absolution? I can't give you that. I don't want forgiveness. I want to help. I have documents, emails, text chains, proof of everything, financial records showing Grant funneling company money into personal accounts, tax fraud, maybe, possibly. I'm not sure. But suspicious things, things that wouldn't survive an audit. Claire perked up. Can you get us copies? I already have them on a flash drive in my car. I came prepared. He pulled it from his pocket. Small, black, containing who knew what. Claire grabbed it, plugged it into her laptop, started scanning files. Her eyes widened. This is massive, Claire said. Financial statements going back 3 years, emails between Grant and Brooke planning the house purchase, text chains discussing how to minimize child support, plans to claim you're an unfit mother, strategies for winning full custody. She looked up, met Natalie's eyes. He documented everything, every awful thing, like he was proud of it. Rich men always think they're untouchable, Owen said. Grant's no different. He wrote everything down, kept records, because in his mind, he was doing smart business, protecting his assets. He never considered it would be used against him. Natalie felt something shift inside her chest. Not quite hope, stronger, sharper, certainty. Grant had been so busy planning her destruction that he documented his own. I need you to meet my lawyer, Natalie said to Owen. Marcus Jennings, tomorrow. You'll give a statement, sworn, notarized, everything you know, everything you've seen, everything you can prove. Done, whatever you need. Why didn't Natalie, master? Why now? Why help me after 6 months of silence? Owen's expression crumbled. Because last week Grant told me his ultimate plan. Once the baby's born, once custody is established, he's going to have you declared mentally unfit, postpartum depression, unstable, dangerous. He's going to take your daughter, raise her with Brooke, erase you completely. And I realized, he paused, swallowed. I realized I was helping him destroy an innocent woman, a good woman, for money, for partnership, for selfish reasons. I couldn't live with that. They said yes. They said finally. They said she'd been waiting for this. Natalie couldn't move, couldn't speak. Her phone buzzed in her clutch. 3 times. She didn't check it. Lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock. Her thumb moved on autopilot. This wasn't real. Couldn't be real. Any second now, someone would laugh. Say it was a joke, a prank. Terrible taste, but just a prank. What is happening? Her voice came out wrong, broken, small. Patricia stood. Natalie, honey. Grant's mother Eleanor spoke, sharp, cold, old money dripping from every syllable. Grant Christopher Whitmore. But Grant didn't turn, didn't look at Natalie. His entire world had narrowed to Brooke's face, to the woman wearing red while Natalie wore green, to the woman who could stand without help, who didn't waddle, who fit into the life he wanted. Say yes, Grant urged. Say you'll marry me. The baby kicked again. Natalie's hand moved to the spot. The only real thing in this moment, her daughter. You're living with it now, Patricia said. Sharp, unforgiving. I know. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm burning every bridge I have with Grant. I'm out. The business, the partnership, all of it. I'm giving Natalie everything she needs to fight back. It won't make you a good person, Claire said. I know, but maybe it makes me slightly less awful. After Owen left, flash drive in Claire's possession, the 3 women sat in silence. The kitchen felt smaller. The evidence felt heavier. Everything felt more real. He wanted to take my baby, Natalie said. Her voice shook. First time since Friday. First time letting the fear show. He planned to call me crazy, unfit, take my daughter away. He planned it, Patricia corrected. Past tense. You know now. You can fight back. You have evidence. Allies. You are not helpless. I'm 6 months pregnant, unemployed, living in my mother's guest room. I feel pretty helpless. You're 6 months pregnant, Claire repeated. Carrying his child, his heir, his genetic legacy, that's leverage. You're living in a stable home with family support. That's leverage. You have his business partner willing to testify against him. That's massive leverage. Stop seeing yourself as he sees you. Start seeing yourself as the woman who's about to destroy him. The words landed different, settled different. Natalie touched her belly. The baby was quiet, sleeping probably, unaware of the war being waged outside the womb. I want to confront him, Natalie said. Bad idea, Claire replied immediately. Good idea, Patricia countered. On your terms. Here, with witnesses, recording. Let him talk. Let him dig his own grave. Marcus said all communication should go through him. Marcus isn't the one carrying Grant's child, Patricia said. You are. You have a right to face him, to tell him exactly what you think of him, to take back the power he stole. Natalie thought about it. Friday night she'd fled, run away, hidden in a bathroom. Not because she was weak, because she was ambushed, unprepared. But now she had information, evidence, understanding. Now she could face him, on her terms, in her space. Call him, Natalie decided. Tell him I want to meet, here, tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock, and tell him to come alone. Grant arrived at 1:58, punctual, always punctual. He pulled up in his Tesla, black, expensive, pristine. Everything about Grant was pristine, except his character. That was filthy. Natalie watched from the window. 6 months pregnant, navy dress, hair pulled back, professional, calm. She'd practiced this, rehearsed. Claire was upstairs, recording. Patricia was in the kitchen, close enough to hear. far enough to give them privacy. The doorbell rang. Natalie counted to 5, breathing, then opened the door. Grant stood there. Designer suit, fresh haircut, carrying white roses. Apology flowers. The same flowers he'd brought when he forgot their 6-month anniversary, when he missed her father's funeral because of a meeting, when he needed forgiveness but didn't deserve it. Natalie. His voice was smooth, practiced. Thank you for seeing me. She didn't take the flowers, didn't move from the doorway. You have 30 minutes. Make them count. He followed her inside, looked around, took in the small suburban house, the worn furniture, the modest kitchen. His expression said everything. This was beneath him, beneath the life he'd built. They sat, living room, Natalie in the armchair, Grant on the sofa, flowers discarded on the coffee table between them. I know this looks bad, Grant began. It is bad. Not looks, is. I never meant to hurt you. You just meant to replace me with my best friend while I was pregnant with your child. Much better. Grant shifted, uncomfortable, not used to Natalie pushing back. You have to understand, we grew apart. You got so focused on the baby. I got focused on the baby you wanted, the baby you said you were ready for, the baby you helped create. This doesn't have to be messy. I'll support the baby. Generous support. How generous? $5,000 monthly, full medical coverage. Natalie laughed, no humor in it. You spend more than that on wine monthly. Grant's jaw tightened. You're being unreasonable. I saw the house in Atherton. He froze. Complete stillness. Prey animal caught. How did you... G&B Holdings. Cute. When were you planning to tell me? Before or after you moved Brooke into our dream house? That's not what this is. Yes, this is. 8 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, pool, guest house, closing date 1 week before our baby's due date. You planned this, Grant, every single detail. You went through my finances, anger creeping in now, the mask slipping. Community property state, they're my finances too. Grant stood, paced. You're being ridiculous. The pregnancy hormones are making you paranoid, irrational. This is exactly why we can't work anymore. You're not stable. There it is. Natalie stayed seated, calm. The real strategy. Call me crazy, unstable, build your case for custody, except I'm not crazy. I have proof, documents, witnesses. Owen sends his regards. Grant went pale. Owen, your business partner, former business partner. He very chatty when guilty, tells fascinating stories about Natalie problems and aesthetic pregnancies and plans to declare me unfit. That bastard. He violated partnership agreements. He'll be sued. Sue him while you're defending yourself against fraud charges, tax evasion, asset hiding. See who wins. Grant's face twisted. Rage replacing performance. You were supposed to be grateful. I gave you everything. That apartment, your position in my life, access to my world, and you couldn't even appreciate it. You gave me an apartment I couldn't afford. A position as placeholder until you found someone better, access to a world built on lies. Brooke appreciates what I provide. Brooke understands the give and take. She doesn't question, doesn't demand, doesn't make me feel inadequate. Then marry Brooke. Build your life with Brooke. But don't you dare think you're taking my daughter. Our daughter, Grant corrected. 50% in mine, and I'll get custody, full custody. You're living in your mother's house, no income, no stability, no resources. What judge will give you a child when I can provide everything? A judge who sees the life insurance policy? $5 million if I die in childbirth. Interesting timing. Grant's eyes narrowed. That's standard financial planning. Standard murder planning, too. You're insane, actually insane. I'm calling my lawyer, getting emergency orders. You're clearly unstable, delusional, potentially dangerous. Patricia entered from the kitchen. Not fast, not angry. Worse, quiet, controlled. Grant Whitmore, I have known you for 3 years. I welcomed you to Sunday dinners. I embroidered Christmas stockings with your initials. I defended you when Natalie complained about your hours. And you repaid all of that by humiliating my pregnant daughter in front of 30 people at her birthday dinner. Patricia, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. You're a coward who wanted a woman he could control. Natalie has a brain, opinions, self-respect. Those things threatened you. So you found a younger model, more desperate, more willing to play make-believe in your fantasy life. This is family business. You made it family business when you proposed to another woman at my daughter's birthday party. You made it my business when you tried to destroy her reputation. You are going to leave this house. You are going to leave my daughter alone. And you are going to learn what consequences feel like. Grant looked at Natalie. You'll regret this. My lawyers will destroy you. I have resources you can't imagine. I'll bury you in legal fees. I'll drag this out for years. You'll be broken and poor by the time I'm done. Natalie stood, 6 months pregnant, stomach tight, baby kicking. Your lawyers will meet my lawyer, Marcus Jennings. Look him up. And when you're ready to discuss real numbers, actual support, and joint custody arrangements that don't involve declaring me insane, call him. Until then, don't contact me. Don't come to this house. Don't try to manipulate me. We communicate through attorneys now. You're making a mistake. No, I made a mistake trusting you. This is me fixing it. Now get out. Grant left, slammed the door, tires squealed. Natalie watched him drive away, then turned to Patricia. Did Claire get everything? Patricia smiled. Every word, crystal clear. He threatened you, admitted the house, confirmed the life insurance, called you unstable. Perfect evidence. Natalie sat, adrenaline draining, leaving exhaustion. She touched her belly. The baby was active now, rolling, protesting the stress. I'm sorry, sweetheart, Natalie whispered. Mama's fighting. For us. For our future. I promise it will be worth it. The doorbell rang. Patricia frowned. If that's Grant again, it wasn't Grant. It was a delivery person. Envelope, certified mail. Patricia signed, brought it to Natalie. Official letterhead, Grant's attorney. That was fast. Natalie opened it, read, laughed. What? Patricia asked. Grant's suing me for defamation, emotional distress, harassment. He's requesting a restraining order, claiming I'm stalking him, threatening him, trying to destroy his business reputation. That's insane. That's strategy. File first. Look like the victim. Make me respond. Make me defend. Standard wealthy man playbook. Natalie pulled out her phone, took a photo of the documents, texted them to Marcus. But he made a mistake. What mistake? He filed before I did. 6 months along, healthy, perfect, growing inside her while her world collapsed outside. Brooke looked at Natalie. Finally, their eyes met across 3 chairs in a chasm that couldn't be crossed. I'm sorry, Brooke whispered. But she took the ring. The room erupted, voices overlapping, Patricia shouting, Eleanor's pearls clicking as she stood. Chairs scraping, someone crying, maybe Natalie. She wasn't sure. Everything sounded underwater, distant, wrong. Natalie stood. The movement took effort. 6 months pregnant meant her center of gravity had shifted. Everything had shifted. She pushed back from the table. The white tablecloth caught her water glass. It tipped, spilled. No one noticed. Natalie, wait, Grant's voice behind her. She didn't wait. Her feet knew where to go. The bathroom, the ladies' room, anywhere away from here. Her clutch banged against her hip. The emerald dress whispered against her thighs. Expensive fabric for an expensive disaster. Which means he's nervous, scared. People who are winning don't file desperate restraining orders. People who are losing do. Her phone rang. Marcus. I see Grant's been busy, Marcus said. How fast can we respond? I'll have papers filed by end of day, countersuit, paternity establishment, child support, asset disclosure. We go full scorched earth. He wants to play in court? We'll play. And we'll win. When? First hearing is in 3 weeks. Can you handle 3 weeks of hell? Natalie looked around, Patricia's living room, her childhood home, the place where she learned to be strong, where her mother raised 2 daughters alone after her father died. If Patricia could survive widowhood and single parenthood, Natalie could survive this. I can handle whatever it takes, Natalie said. Good, because it's about to get much, much worse. The ultrasound appointment was on Thursday, 28 weeks. Standard check. Measure the baby, check development, routine. Except nothing felt routine anymore. Natalie went alone. Patricia offered to come. Claire wanted to come. Eleanor surprisingly texted offering to accompany her. Natalie declined. This was something she needed to do herself. Her and the baby. The only relationship that mattered anymore. The waiting room was full of couples, happy couples, holding hands, discussing nursery colors, planning futures that looked nothing like Natalie's. She checked in, sat, tried not to feel bitter about the normalcy surrounding her. Natalie Reed, the nurse called. Young, cheerful, smiled automatically. Right this way. The exam room was cold, standard medical cold. Natalie changed into the gown, lay on the table. The ultrasound tech came in. Older woman, kind eyes. She'd done Natalie's previous scans. How are we doing today? She asked. Surviving, Natalie said honestly. The tech paused, really looked at her. Rough week? Rough life. Baby's doing well. That's what matters. She squirted gel, cold, pressed the wand to Natalie's belly. The screen filled with grainy images. There she is, active today. The baby moved on screen, arms, legs, head, heart beating, strong, healthy, perfect. Natalie felt tears burn. Not sadness, something else. Fierce protection, love that hurt. Everything looks good, the tech continued. Measurements are right on track, heart rate perfect, placenta functioning well. You're doing great. I don't feel great. Growing a human is hard, made harder when you're doing it alone. But you're strong. Your daughter's strong. You'll both get through this. The assumption that Natalie was alone should have hurt. Instead, it felt honest. True, she was alone. Had been alone for months. She just hadn't realized it. After the appointment, Natalie sat in her car in the medical parking lot. Engine off, ultrasound photos on the passenger seat. Her daughter, 28 weeks, 12 weeks until delivery. 12 weeks to figure out her entire life. The panic came then, full force, breathing fast, chest tight. Everything felt impossible. How would she support a baby? She'd quit her job 2 months ago. Grant had insisted, said she needed rest, said he'd provide everything, said she should focus on the pregnancy. She'd believed him, given up her income, her independence, her safety net. Stupid, so stupid. She'd walked right into his trap. Her phone rang, unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but maybe it was important. Hello? Natalie, it's Simone from work. Simone, 36, marketing director, Natalie's former colleague. They'd gotten coffee occasionally, shared war stories about difficult clients, not close friends, but friendly. Simone, hi, how are you? Better question is, how are you? I heard about the birthday dinner. The proposal, Grant being a complete bastard. I'm so sorry. How did you hear? Claire posted something vague on social media. I put pieces together, called her. She filled me in. I hope that's okay. It's fine. Everyone will know soon anyway. That's why I'm calling. I went through a terrible divorce 3 years ago. My ex was wealthy, connected, vindictive. He tried to destroy me in court, tried to take my son, make me look unstable, unfit. It was hell, but I survived. And I want you to know you'll survive too. The words hit different, not platitudes, experience, understanding. How did you do it? I documented everything, every interaction, every threat, every time he violated custody agreements or made accusations. I kept records like it was my job. Because it was my job, protecting my son. By the end, I had so much evidence the judge threw out his custody petition and granted me full custody. I'm trying to document, but Grant's smart. He knows what he's doing. Smart men always underestimate angry women. That's their weakness. They think money and lawyers are enough. They forget we're fighting for our children. There's no greater motivator. I'm scared, Natalie admitted, first time saying it out loud. Good. Fear keeps you sharp, keeps you vigilant, Just don't let it paralyze you. Use it, channel it, make it fuel. After they hung up, Natalie sat longer. The parking lot was emptying, afternoon shifting to evening. She thought about Simone, about surviving, about what came after survival. She pulled out her phone, opened her notes app, started writing. Things I know. I am not crazy. I deserve better than Grant. My daughter deserves better than Grant. I have evidence. I have allies. I have time. Things Grant doesn't know. Owen gave me everything. Eleanor is helping me. I'm documenting everything. I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to disappear things I need. Income source, medical insurance, legal strategy, emotional support, plan for after baby arrives. Things I want, full custody, child support that actually supports a child, protection from Grant's manipulation, peace, independence, justice. The list helped, made chaos feel manageable. Natalie started the car, drove home. Patricia's house, not hers, not really, but safe. That counted for something. Patricia was cooking when Natalie arrived. Comfort food, the kind that takes hours in love. She looked up when Natalie entered. How's the baby? Perfect, strong, healthy. Good, you're staying for dinner. It wasn't a question. Natalie hung her coat, sat at the kitchen table, watched her mother work. The familiar motions, the practiced efficiency. Patricia had done this alone, raised two daughters, kept a house, maintained sanity after Natalie's father died. 5 years ago, 53 years old and suddenly a widow. How did you do it? Natalie asked. After Dad died. How did you keep going? Patricia paused, wooden spoon mid-stir. I didn't have a choice. You and Claire needed me. The bills didn't stop. Life didn't stop. I could fall apart or keep moving. So I kept moving, put one foot in front of the other. Some days that was enough. Did you ever want to give up? Every day for the first year, but then something shifted. I realized I was stronger than I thought. That survival was its own victory. That grief didn't define me. It was something I moved through. Not around, not over. Through. I feel like I'm drowning. You're not drowning. You're learning to swim in deeper water than you expected. There's a difference. Claire arrived during dinner. Laptop bag, determined expression. She pulled out her computer, set it up on the cleared table. I found something, Claire announced, about Brooke, her past, before she moved here, before she met you. What about her past? Natalie asked. She's done this before. Different city, different woman, different rich man. 3 years ago in Seattle, she befriended a woman named Amanda Porter. Amanda was engaged to a tech executive. Brooke worked her way into their lives, became best friends with Amanda, slept with the fiancé, caused a massive scandal. The engagement ended. Brooke and the tech executive dated for 6 months. Then he left her for someone else. The pattern, the calculated targeting. This wasn't love. This was sport. Hunting wealthy men through their unsuspecting partners. How did you find this? Natalie asked. Reverse image search on her social media photos. Found old accounts. Different name. Brooke Castellano is an alias. Her real name is Brooke Winters. She has a history. This history. Does Grant know? No idea, but he should. He thinks he won the game. Doesn't realize he's the mark too. Natalie thought about it. The poetic justice. Grant leaving her for a woman who would eventually leave him. The karma of it. But that felt too passive, too hopeful. She didn't want to wait for karma. Send everything to Marcus, Natalie decided. He can use it. Prove Brooks' character. Show Grant's judgment is questionable. Build the case that he's not the stable parent he claims to be. Already sent. Marcus called it a gift. What do we do now? Patricia asked. Natalie touched her belly. The baby was quiet, sleeping probably, peaceful, unaware. Now we wait for the court date, for Grant's next move, for the baby. And while we wait, we prepare. We document. We build our case. The bathroom door was heavy, solid wood. She pushed through and locked it behind her, leaned against it, breathing, just breathing, in, out, in. Out. The meditation app she downloaded in her first trimester for labor, for pain management. She never thought she'd need it for this. The mirror showed a stranger, makeup perfect, hair styled, emerald dress fitted by professionals, 6 months pregnant and glowing. Everyone said she was glowing. Pregnancy agreed with her. What a beautiful mother she'd make. What a perfect family. Natalie sat on the closed toilet lid, fully clothed. The bathroom smelled like expensive soap and fresh flowers. She could hear voices outside, muffled, angry. Her mother's southern accent got stronger when she was upset. She was very upset. The baby moved, rolling, tumbling, performing acrobatics in the only safe space left. Natalie placed both hands on her belly. "It's okay," she whispered. "We're okay. We're going to be okay." She didn't believe it. We get ready to fight. 3 weeks passed. November became December. The weather turned properly cold. California cold, which meant mid-50s and rain. Natalie's belly grew. 7 months, then 7.5. The baby ran out of room. Movement became uncomfortable, constant, pressing against ribs, bladder, everything. The first court hearing was scheduled for December 15th, 2 weeks before Christmas. Marcus filed motions. Grant's lawyers filed counter motions. Paper war before the real war began. But something shifted in those 3 weeks. Something inside Natalie. The grief became anger. The anger became determination. The determination became action. She couldn't work, not yet, not visibly pregnant and embroiled in legal battles. No company would hire her, but she could plan, research, prepare. Eleanor came to visit, surprising everyone. Grant's mother, 64, pearls and propriety. She sat in Patricia's living room like it was a board meeting. "I've been thinking," Eleanor announced, "about your situation, about my son's behavior, about my role in all this." "Your role?" Natalie asked. "I raised him, shaped him, or failed to shape him adequately. His father was a terrible example. Cheater, liar, user. I thought Grant would be different, better. I was wrong. You're not responsible for his choices." "No, but I can be responsible for making them right, or at least less catastrophically wrong." Eleanor pulled out a folder. "Legal papers. I'm establishing a trust fund for my granddaughter, $1 million. Grant cannot touch it, cannot control it. It's for her education, her future, her security." Natalie's throat tightened. "Eleanor, I can't accept you. You're not accepting. Your daughter is. This has nothing to do with you or Grant. This is about ensuring my granddaughter has resources regardless of what happens between her parents." "Thank you." Inadequate words, but all Natalie had. "There's more. I spoke with my attorney, my personal attorney, not the firm Grant uses. I'm updating my estate plan. Grant was set to inherit substantial assets. Was, past tense. Now everything is in trust for my granddaughter. Grant gets nothing unless he proves himself worthy, which given current behavior seems unlikely. He'll be furious. He'll survive. Fury is good for the character. Builds resilience." Eleanor's smile was sharp, satisfied. "I'm also divesting from Whitmore Technologies, selling my shares. I was a minor investor, but still. Public divestment sends a message to the board, to investors, to Grant. His mother has lost faith in his leadership. This will damage his company. His behavior already damaged his company. I'm simply making it visible. Actions have consequences, even for millionaire tech entrepreneurs." After Eleanor left, Natalie sat processing. Grant's own mother had turned against him, cut him out of her will, publicly criticized him. The isolation he tried to create around Natalie was turning back on him. Marcus called that evening. "We have a problem, or an opportunity. Depends on perspective." "What is it?" "Grant's offering settlement, generous settlement, $20,000 monthly child support, full medical coverage, college fund. He'll sign over the apartment lease, add your name to the deed. In exchange, you agree to joint custody, 50-50 split, no restrictions on his time with the baby." "What's the catch?" "He wants you to sign a non-disclosure agreement. No talking about the affair, the proposal, the birthday disaster. Complete silence. And he wants you to release all claims against G&B Holdings. The properties, the investments, everything in the LLC stays his. No, you haven't heard the full offer. I don't need to. He wants to buy my silence, make me complicit, erase what he did, and I won't. Not for 20,000, not for 50,000, not for anything. This is substantial money, enough to raise your daughter comfortably, enough to rebuild your life. Are you certain you want to refuse? Completely certain. He humiliated me publicly. He doesn't get to paper over it privately. We go to trial. We let the judge decide. We make everything public record. He wants silence? He should have thought about that before proposing to my best friend at my birthday dinner. Marcus was quiet, then, good. That's the answer I was hoping for, because going to trial means we can subpoena everything. Bank records, emails, witnesses. We can put Owen on the stand, put Brooke on the stand, put Grant on the stand, and watch him lie under oath. This is going to be satisfying. After hanging up, Natalie felt something unfamiliar. Not quite happiness, not quite peace, but solid, stable, clear. She knew what she wanted, how to get it, what she was willing to sacrifice. The clarity was intoxicating. She pulled out her laptop, opened a blank document, started writing. Business plan, Reed Marketing Consulting. The idea had been forming, slowly, quietly. She couldn't work for someone else. Not with a newborn, not with custody battles, not with her reputation damaged by Grant's accusations, but she could work for herself. Build something small, manageable, flexible. She had skills, connections, experience. 10 years in marketing, corporate clients, successful campaigns, awards. Before Grant, she'd been good, really good. She could be good again. She worked for 3 hours, wrote service descriptions, pricing structures, target clients, marketing strategies. By midnight, she had a rough business plan. Nothing fancy, but feasible. Real. Patricia found her at 1 in the morning, still writing. You should sleep. Can't sleep. Too much in my head. What are you working on? My future. After the baby, after the legal stuff. I need income, independence. This is how I get it. Patricia read over her shoulder, nodded slowly. This is good, solid, but you'll need startup capital. Website, software, business cards, insurance. I have some savings, not much, enough to start small. I have money, your father's life insurance. I've been saving it for emergencies, for my daughters. This qualifies. Mom, I can't take your savings. You're not taking. I'm investing in your business, in your future, in my granddaughter's future. I want equity, 20%, fair market rate, business arrangement. Natalie wanted to cry, laugh, scream. Her mother was offering salvation disguised as business investment. Deal, 20% equity. I'll draw up papers. You'll do no such thing. Family doesn't need papers. Handshake is enough. Patricia extended her hand. They shook. Now go to bed. Babies don't care if you're tired. They arrive on schedule. Natalie went to bed, but didn't sleep. Lay in her childhood bedroom, hands on belly, baby kicking, thinking about the future. 3 months until delivery. 3 months to get everything ready. The business, the court case, the nursery, her life. For the first time since the birthday disaster, the future felt like something she could touch, shape, build. Not something happening to her. Something she was creating, deliberately, intentionally. She pulled out her phone, texted Simone. Natalie, are you awake? Simone, unfortunately, yes. Insomnia is my friend. Natalie, I'm starting a business, marketing consulting. Want to be my first client? Simone, details? Natalie explained. Service packages, pricing, timeline. Simone responded immediately. Simone, I'm in. Our marketing is terrible. I need help. You're hired. Send me a contract. Natalie, I don't have contracts yet. Simone, then send me an email. That's binding enough. Welcome back to the workforce. Natalie drafted the email. Professional, polished, her first client, her first income, her first step toward independence. She hit send, smiled, The baby kicked, like celebration, like approval. "We're going to be okay, sweetheart," Natalie whispered. "Better than okay. We're going to thrive." December 15th arrived cold and gray. Court day. Natalie dressed carefully. Maternity pantsuit, navy, professional. 8 months pregnant now. Enormous, uncomfortable, powerful. Marcus met her at the courthouse steps. "Ready?" "As ready as possible." "Grant will try to intimidate, make you doubt. Stay calm, stay focused. Let me handle the arguing. You just need to be present, dignified, pregnant. The visual contrast between his accusations and your reality will speak volumes." The courtroom was smaller than expected. Wood paneling, fluorescent lights, judge's bench, tables for each side. Gallery seating mostly empty. This wasn't a trial. Not yet. Just preliminary hearing. Establishing ground rules. But important. Everything was important. Grant arrived with his lawyers, 3 of them. Expensive suits, leather briefcases, intimidation through numbers. He looked at Natalie once. His expression was cold, calculated, no recognition of what they'd been, what they'd planned. Just adversaries now. Brooke wasn't there. Interesting. Maybe Grant was smart enough to know her presence would destroy his credibility. "All rise," the Honorable Judge Christine Martinez presiding. They stood. The judge entered, 50-something, sharp eyes, no-nonsense expression. She'd seen everything, heard every excuse, believed nothing without proof. "Be seated. This is case number 2457, Whitmore versus Reed, establishment of paternity and child support. Mr. Jennings, you filed first. Present your motion." Marcus stood, confident. "Your Honor, my client Natalie Reed is 8 months pregnant with Grant Whitmore's child. Mr. Whitmore has refused to provide support during the pregnancy, has made threats regarding custody, has attempted to intimidate my client. But she said it anyway. That's what mothers do. Lie to protect their children. Even when the child can't understand the lie yet." Time passed. She wasn't sure how much. Her phone buzzed 17 times. She counted, didn't check the messages. What was there to check? What was there to say? Her fiancé had just proposed to her best friend at her birthday dinner. In front of everyone she knew. The timing was perfect. She was too pregnant to make a scene. No, that thought came clear. Sharp. Grant had said that once. Weeks ago, during a fight she couldn't remember anymore. "You're too pregnant to make a scene." She'd laughed. Thought he was joking. He wasn't joking. This was planned. The timing, the location, the public humiliation, all of it designed to keep her quiet, keep her manageable, keep her trapped. Natalie stood. Her reflection looked back. Still glowing. Still perfect. Still 6 months pregnant and completely alone. She fixed her lipstick, smoothed her dress. "We're seeking emergency orders establishing paternity, mandating child support, and restricting Mr. Whitmore's behavior pending final hearing." Grant's lead attorney stood. "Your Honor, my client disputes many of these claims. He has not refused support. He has offered generous support. Miss Reed rejected it. He has made no threats. He has legitimate concerns about Miss Reed's mental stability. He has not intimidated anyone. He is the victim of a vindictive woman attempting to extort money using pregnancy as leverage." "Interesting characterization," Judge Martinez said dryly. "Mr. Whitmore, you are the father of Miss Reed's child?" Grant stood. Yes, Your Honor." "And you proposed marriage to Miss Reed's best friend at Miss Reed's birthday party while Miss Reed was 6 months pregnant?" Silence. Grant's lawyer scrambled. "Your Honor, that's not relevant to—" "I decide what's relevant. Answer the question, Mr. Whitmore." "The situation is complicated," Grant said. "That's not an answer. Did you or did you not propose marriage to another woman at Miss Reed's birthday party?" "I did, but—" "Thank you. That's sufficient. Mr. Jennings, do you have evidence of Mr. Whitmore's financial situation?" "Extensive evidence, Your Honor. Financial statements, property records, LLC documents showing substantial hidden assets. Mr. Whitmore's attorneys, do you dispute the accuracy of these financial documents?" More scrambling. "We haven't had opportunity to review." "That's your problem, not mine. Here's what's going to happen. Paternity will be established immediately through DNA testing. Results expedited. Mr. Whitmore will pay temporary child support starting today. Amount to be determined by his verified income, not his claimed income, his actual income, including LLC distributions and property income. Both parties will refrain from harassment. Both parties will document all interactions. We'll reconvene in 6 weeks for full hearing. Any questions? Grant's attorney tried. Your Honor, 6 weeks is very short notice. Miss Reed is due in 4 weeks. I'm not letting this child be born into legal limbo. You have 6 weeks to prepare. Use them wisely. Anything else? Your Honor, Marcus said, we have concerns about Mr. Whitmore's intentions regarding custody. He has stated he plans to seek full custody, claims Miss Reed is unfit. We request supervised visitation only until full hearing. On what grounds? Mr. Whitmore has made statements suggesting he views the child as property. Not as a person, he has documented plans to declare Miss Reed mentally unfit. We have sworn testimony from his business partner. We have evidence of financial manipulation designed to make Miss Reed appear unstable. Grant exploded. This is ridiculous. I have every right to custody of my own child. Mr. Whitmore, Judge Martinez said, voice sharp. You will sit down and be quiet or I will hold you in contempt. Your attorney speaks for you in this courtroom, not the other way around. Grant sat, seething. His lawyers looked uncomfortable. I'm ordering psychological evaluations for both parties, Judge Martinez continued. Independent evaluator. Both of you will cooperate fully. Results due before final hearing. I'm also ordering mediation. You will attempt to reach agreement on custody arrangements. If mediation fails, I'll decide. And I promise you won't like my decision as much as a compromise you create yourselves. We're adjourned. 6 weeks. Don't be late. The gavel fell. Final. Natalie stood, legs shaking. 8 months pregnant and standing through an hour-long hearing was brutal, but worth it. The judge had seen through Grant, called him out, established consequences. Marcus smiled. That went well. She destroyed him. Judge Martinez doesn't tolerate wealthy men who think money exempts them from decency. Grant made a terrible impression. The psychological evaluation is a gift. He'll fail, spectacularly. Narcissists always do. Outside the courthouse, Natalie breathed cold air. December in California. Almost winter, almost Christmas, almost motherhood. Everything was almost. Hovering, waiting. Her phone rang. Eleanor. How did it go? Better than expected. Temporary support ordered. Psychological evaluation scheduled. Judge was not impressed with Grant. Good, I have news too. Grant tried to borrow money from me. Substantial money. His company is struggling. Investors are nervous after my divestment. He needs cash. I refused. Told him to sell his Atherton house. Natalie laughed, actually laughed. The house he bought for Brooke. The very same. Justice has a way of being poetic sometimes. After hanging up, Natalie sat in her car, not ready to drive yet, processing. The last month had been hell, but she'd survived, grown, changed. She wasn't the woman from the birthday dinner anymore. That woman had been naive, trusting, soft. This woman was steel. Her phone buzzed. Email notification, subject, contract signed, Reed Marketing Consulting. She opened it. Simone's company had signed the contract. 6-month agreement, substantial retainer, her first official client. Her business was real. More emails followed. Simone had recommended her to 2 other companies. Both interested, both wanted proposals. Natalie's calendar suddenly had structure. Deadlines, income, purpose beyond surviving. She drove to Patricia's house, her temporary home. Maybe not so temporary. Maybe she'd stay after the baby arrived. Save money, have help, let her grandmother. Nothing wrong with that. Claire was there when she arrived. Laptop open, working. She looked up. How was court? Productive. Grant looked terrible. Judge was amazing. We have 6 weeks to prepare for final hearing. You have 4 weeks until delivery. I know. It's going to be complicated. Everything's complicated. You're handling it. Claire turned her laptop. Speaking of handling things, check this out. The screen showed a website. Professional, clean, modern, read marketing consulting, services, portfolio, contact information, about page with Natalie's photo, professional headshot from 2 years ago, before pregnancy, before Grant, before everything. You built me a website? I built you a business identity, website, social media profiles, email setup, client management system, everything you need to look legitimate. Because you are legitimate, you just needed infrastructure. Natalie hugged her sister, awkward with huge pregnant belly between them. Thank you. Don't thank me. Pay me. I'm sending an invoice. Family rate, but still. I have bills. They laughed, worked, planned. Patricia made dinner. They ate together, 3 women, 3 generations, building something from nothing, or from destruction. Same thing, really. That night, Natalie lay in bed, hands on belly, baby moving, constant movement now, running out of room, ready to be born, ready to meet the world. Natalie talked to her, quiet, private. Your dad is complicated, not evil, not good, just complicated, selfish. But you won't be. You'll be strong, smart, kind, everything he's not, everything I'm learning to be, and we'll be okay. Just us. We don't need him. We don't need anyone. But we have people anyway. Your grandmother, your aunt, your great-grandmother Eleanor, who's terrifying but loyal. We have family, the kind you choose and the kind that chooses you back. The baby pressed against her ribs, uncomfortable. Perfect. I can't wait to meet you, sweetheart. 1 more month, then everything changes. But this time, I'm ready for change. Natalie's daughter arrived 3 weeks later, January 8th. 2 weeks early, fast labor, 4 hours from first contraction to delivery. Patricia drove, Claire filmed, Eleanor met them at the hospital, where she'd planned her escape to the big city, to success, to a life that looked nothing like this. I'm going to my mother's, Natalie told Eleanor. Good. I'll drive you. You don't have to. My son humiliated you publicly at your birthday dinner while you're carrying his child. The least I can do is provide transportation. They loaded the car, suitcase, boxes, pieces of a life that no longer fit. Natalie took one last look at the apartment, 15 floors up, city lights spreading in every direction. She'd felt on top of the world here. Now she just felt small. Patricia's house sat in the suburbs, 45 minutes from the city, longer in traffic. The house was small, 3 bedrooms. Patricia had lived here alone since Natalie's father died, 5 years ago. Cancer, fast, brutal, merciful in its speed. Grant had attended the funeral, held Natalie's hand, whispered comfort. Been perfect. She'd thought he was perfect. She'd been wrong about everything.